Thomas Jefferson climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Come
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Round 2 Showdown show here for the Fedex St. Jude Championship here. No cut event, only 70 guys like we had mentioned coming into the week, which has it's interesting with these no cut events. Seems like half the field thinks they're dead and half the field thinks they're shipping the tournament after one day. But little do they know, all these golfers are going to get 4 days. So we'll see a lot of ups and downs on this leaderboard the next 2 days. I got my guy Drew here with me. What's your thoughts on that, Drew? What's your thought on all the tilt and all the highs and lows everybody's at today?
I was gonna say after 1 day is generous. After 9 holes or the first couple groups get off the course, you're looking pretty good and feeling like things are going your way, and then everybody else finishes their round, and then obviously everyone's playing for. So yeah, there's really no way to know exactly. It's kind of like NASCAR. You get the pit stops and they still move your standings. You don't really know what you're doing until unless you're following the race or watching it, you know who's pitting. But there's really no way to know exactly how you're doing until Sunday, probably on the back nine. Hopefully you have some guys that are inside the top 20, maybe one guy inside the top 40 that can make a move, and you're probably doing pretty good. But yeah, a lot of swings over the weekend. And again, early on Thursday, so much of the placement points takes up the scoring. And that's what kind of stinks. I think Putnam had the first tee time. So if you pulled up your DK app after one hole, he parred the first hole, he's got 30.5 points. It's he's wrecking everybody. You're in first place in every contest if you played him. So yeah, the placement points are 100% or 50-50 on the actual scoring for some of these guys. So yeah, it'll definitely start to even out as the tournament goes on. And like I said, you really have no idea exactly how you're going to fare until Sunday. You could have great lineups and not cash. You could have complete shit and end up cashing pretty good, which has happened a lot in single entry stuff.
Yeah, for sure. We'll break this down from the top of the leaderboard down like we normally do. We've got some decent names up there. Jordan Spieth pulled out one of those wild rounds like he does at times. Makes an eagle. Actually made 5 birdies and an eagle there. Hold out on 16, I believe, for eagle on the par 5 there. Played well across the board. Tommy Kim was right there too until he suffered a late bogey to knock him out of a tie for the first round lead. If anybody had any tickets there, that was a tough break there for sure. What are you doing here at the top of the leaderboard? I guess before we get into that, make sure you hit the like, subscribe. It really helps us out a lot, bringing these shows to you guys free of charge. NFL's starting to be in full swing now. We've got a decent 2-game NFL slate today. We've got a special promo code for NFL 2 coming up. NFL 23 gets you 23% off for life on any and all packages. So make sure you lock that in. I think next week or maybe 2 weeks it's going to go down, and then it'll go down again to 15% the week before the season starts. So make sure to get in on that extended deal here, 23% off. Drew, what are you doing at the top here? Let's just go. We can just do these top 4 guys, and then we'll dive into the -4 since there's about 10 guys there. What are you doing with these top 4 guys here at the top of the leaderboard? Are you playing any of these guys? Or are you going to be fading them off of the generous first round they had?
No, I think it's an interesting tournament. Obviously it's a smaller field, so I'm not too afraid. There's two things. Obviously it's a smaller field, but it's a stronger field where these guys that can kind of keep the pedal down. I'm not afraid to go back to them. So I wouldn't go crazy playing a bunch of these guys, all 4 of them in the same lineup or even 2 of them in the same lineup. But I don't mind playing one of them. My favorite, I think, is Grillo. I think at the price, his numbers across the board, for me at least, looked really good. He had 9 shots inside of 20 feet, 6 shots inside of 15 feet. It's pretty close with him and Spieth, but like we talk about every week, I kind of was out on Spieth to start the week, and I'm not going to just chase him after one round. So in this scenario, I would play some Grillo, who's been playing pretty good, all things considered, this summer, and obviously popped a little bit for today. So I do not mind going back to Grillo. I think Morikawa is fine, but I think he'll get a little bit heavier ownership if it wasn't already up there. in your contest. So yeah, for me, I would probably steer away from Spieth personally. And same with Tom Kim. I'm a little bit nervous on Tom Kim's longevity this week and into the playoffs. I've heard some rumors about his ankle. I don't know if it's true or not, but I wasn't really excited to play some chalk Tom Kim at 7,800 today. So yeah, for me, Grillo would be the guy I want to go to. It's his numbers when his ball striking is on, he's definitely elite. He's not really in the Scheffler category, but we've seen him have some spike rounds and not do anything with the putter. So it's just basically chasing that for me.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to be going back to my guy Morikawa tomorrow. 9,200 -5. I thought this course was going to set up well for him. I was on him overweight on the main slate as well, so I'm going to go right back to him. 6 birdies, 1 bogey today. Did give one back there towards the end. He was up near the first round lead for a while. I'm going to go right back to him. No, I like the price tag. Generous savings from some of the guys at the top. You got Scotty there at 10 or at 12-2, and then you got Morikawa there $3K cheaper. So I'll just take the savings there. And if Morikawa's putting, like he's actually been putting pretty well for the last month or so. I don't know what's going on there, but like today he gained over a stroke putting today, 1.6 strokes putting. The iron play is always there for him. It was there solid tee to green for him. So I'll be going right back to Morikawa. I think I'm going to fade Spieth, fade Kim, and fade Grillo up here on top. Then we can get into this -4 range where Lucas Glover is just swinging the club so good. I mean, JT Boston's right there too, swinging the club just very good right now. And then Cameron Davis.
A lot of Camerons we can mess up here. A lot of Camerons.
Too many. He had a good deal there. Holes 2 through 4. He goes birdie, eagle, birdie. I'll probably go back to him. I was on him. He was one of my highest owned cheapies, 7,200 on the main slate, and he gets a little price drop here. I think 71 tomorrow. So, yeah, 71. So, yeah, I'm going to go right back to him for a value play. What are you seeing here? -4 range. Eric Cole, this is a stats guy that pops out. -2 strokes playing today, gained everywhere else. Are you going to Cole, or what else are you doing here with these -4 guys?
Cole's hard to overlook, and he's just one of those guys that goes low. So yeah, I do like Eric Cole. He's not one that I'm afraid of, chasing even after a bad round. He's one of those guys that can kind of turn it around just in one day and go low. But yeah, his numbers across the board look good, even aside from his strokes gained numbers. Like his approaches inside of 20 feet were fantastic, and he really got it rolling early. And I could see Eric Cole continuing his good play on this golf course. It's not super comparable to Honda, but I could definitely see where driving it in play is a huge comp course over course. So I like Eric Cole to go into tomorrow. The guys that I was already high on is JT Poston. Like JT Poston, Lucas Glover as well, like you mentioned. Those will be 2 guys that I'll include for tomorrow. Fleetwood is honestly probably a decent bounce back spot. As bad as he played today, I would not mind sprinkling in some Fleetwood. And let's just say he does shoot 400 or 500 again tomorrow. Like, it's not the end of the world. So like for tournaments, I really don't hate, flop lag. And we've been talking flop lag a lot. Fleetwood would be one of those guys. No one's going to touch Fleetwood. Gained a bunch of strokes putting, doesn't look good on approach. And I'll be honest, it's not great on approach, but he's one of those guys that he can definitely flip the switch in one day. Taylor Moore played pretty well. I'll probably wait and see. But for me in this range, I think it's really going to be, I kind of missed Xander there, but it's really going to be Lucas Glover as a sprinkle, a lot of Eric Cole, a good bit of JT Poston, and then Xander down there had some serious numbers for me at least. I know his approach numbers overall look good, but he had 5 shots inside of 10 feet and 8 shots inside of 15 feet. So like for half this day, he was inside of 15 feet putting for birdie. I like that quite a bit. This does seem like, one of those WGC events where Xander can excel. And he caught my eye earlier this afternoon. So yeah, definitely some Xander. He might be one of my favorite spin ups actually.
Yeah, I think Xander's gonna fall between the cracks there too. I mean, he had some serious scoring power there for Showdown today. The scorecard was kind of wild for him there. He makes 6 birdies, an eagle, a double, and 2 bogeys. So he had quite a few designs on his scorecard there. I definitely think the upside is definitely there.
He hit it great. Yeah. I mean, I think his bad holes were really just a couple bad drives, and that was it. Yeah, he's got the ceiling. He could go shoot 61 at Kapalua. Obviously, this isn't Kapalua, but I mean, this is one of those events where he could go off and shoot 62 like it's nothing.
Yeah, for sure. And then I'm right there with you with Fleetwood as well. I really like the price on him. He generally plays well early in these tournaments before the pressure kind of kicks in. I've actually got him in my core too over on runpuresports.com. Use that promo code NFL23. But yeah, I've got him as a core play listed for tomorrow. I don't think that many people will go to him. Looking at the stats wise, I think he can turn the irons around. He actually played well for not hitting the ball that well today. So only made one bogey.
And for what it's worth, I will say these guys know they got to play 4 more days. So he's not going to pack it in and miss the cut. I mean, he's 4 under par anyway, so he's like in contention. But like if he played bad, like he's not feeling like, hey, we'll see how I hit it tomorrow. I still have 3 more weeks in a row. No, he's in the, make jokes about the playoffs all you want, but he knows that he needs to play well in these given weeks because it's huge for him in his career. I think Fleetwood's an interesting bounce back considering he shoots 4 under. I mean, like not many times do we call someone having a bounce back round after shooting 4 under par, but definitely looks like he would be under the radar for most people. They're not clicking Fleetwood's name as a first click for sure.
Yeah, and some of these guys, like we've seen some of those guys fall off, like Fowler and JT. You finish in the top 30 in this, and you get that 2-year exemption, which is absolutely huge for some of these guys if they can get inside that top 30. And then the prize pool for that last event, the at Eastlake, is just a massive prize pool, though. So
for a lot of these guys, just to get here is like huge. Like I was looking down the list of guys that you wouldn't expect. I mean, who was the one guy I saw that?
Montgomery?
No, I mean I know he had such a great fall. Who was it? There was somebody that. No, it wasn't Hubbard. It was Hubbard's friend. Who the heck was that? Hayden Buckley. Like Hayden Buckley. How did Hayden Buckley end up inside the top 70? Like he had a couple good weeks, I guess, on like the alternate field events, but that was a name. Again, he finished ahead of JT, and JT played at all the WGCs and everything else, or all the elevated events. So I don't know. It's pretty great. But yeah, this just to get to this event alone is a pretty big accomplishment for, a fifth of the field. So yeah, I think Tommy's got a good spot to kind of keep the pedal down and maybe actually turn it around. If you can even argue that he's going to turn it around after shooting 400 par, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and we kind of dive into this -3 range where I think there's a lot of guys that are going to make some moves here in this range tomorrow. They're sitting at T15 right now with just 20 guys, I think, right here at -3. You got some studs here, some fades for me too. I'll be fading Nick Hardy tomorrow. I'll be fading Tom Hoagie tomorrow. I'll be fading Sahith tomorrow as well. They just putted way too well for me, and I like some of these other guys in their ranges and stuff. But like you look at where'd he go? My guy Homa, is he at 3 under? Where did he go? Thought he was at 3 under.
I don't see Homa.
No, he's at 2 under. Never mind. He's the guy that I'll be looking at there because he battled back strong at the end. But you guys like Russell Henley, who are once again just playing very good golf. Henley typically plays really well the first 2-3 days until like he's another guy that I worry when the pressure gets on him. And our guy Denny McCarthy there, the double flop leg, finally came through with a bogey-free 3 under round. He didn't even putt the ball that well today, which he usually does. So I'll be on some McCarthy tomorrow at 3 under.
He had one of those stranger rounds. I'll get into it here in a second, but he definitely had a weird round today. But I'll get to it in a second.
Yeah, and you look at a guy like Benyon, he had a wild day today. He goes out bogey-free 4 under through 11 and then goes double bogey double to give 5 back in that 3-hole stretch and then ends birdie eagle birdie almost. So that was a wild deal for Benyon there. Great for Showdown, though. I mean, he's a guy with that upside. I definitely will continue to attack tomorrow. Todd, Hadwin, they're fine. I probably won't go there. I probably won't go to Mackenzie Hughes either. Scotty the Kid's right there. It was a tale of 2 rounds for him today. He starts out just normal, horrible putting throughout the front 9, loses over 2 strokes putting on the front 9. Normal Scotty things, but then on the back 9, something kind of clicked. He actually gained strokes putting on 5, 6 of the 9 holes there. So maybe he found something with the putter there, gained over 2 strokes putting on his back nine, which was the front nine effectively. If he can find something with that putter, I mean, it might be good night for the rest of the field. So he's interesting there. I don't think many people will go to him. He was kind of level with a ROM, right around 20, 25% for the main slate. I expect him to be 15 to 20% again tomorrow. Nothing too crazy. What are you seeing here? -3. AP was on Hideki this week. He played well today. 3 under round for him. Rory was right there. He was right there in contention. Looked like he had everything rolling there, and then gave a couple back towards the end of his round as well. So what are you seeing here? -3.
Yeah, I'll start with Denny. Actually, really quick, I see some comments there. First, Jim said he took 5th in the big showdown on Saturday. Probably a nice four-digit hit right there. So congrats to Jim. I assume he's talking to you, Snyder. Obviously not to me, but happy to have you here. And yeah, I don't know if you saw those pants today, Snyder. Tom Kim had some jeggings. It looked like some white jeggings. Looked like he was on the LPGA tour out there. I don't know what he was. I assume he did have his lower leg wraps or into his ankle, but I did not really zoom in on the picture. Those aren't the pictures I zoom in on. So I don't know what exactly he had going on there. But I've heard rumors. I mean, he had an ankle injury, a month ago, and they talked about him having a problem in the Pro-Am. So I don't know what the extent of it is. But yeah, he had some wardrobe issues today. I don't know if it was due to the ankle or not. But wanted to point that out. And yes, last caller really quick. Snyder, and I'll get it going. Antonio says Scotty's putter is left broken. Yes, he's still trying to find something to hang on to. He's been
on the back nine, though.
I know that's what you said, but I mean, it's been.
Oh yeah.
I mean, some of these are just ugly. Like he's 5 feet, doesn't even hit the hole.
And then he drains. What was that, hole 8 or something? One of his last holes today. He drains a 30-footer like a double breaker over a hill. It was just wild.
He's almost like Spieth like 2 years ago. Like he makes like a 40-footer or 35-footer from off the green, but he can't make it inside 8 feet or 6 feet. Just weird. He looks very uncomfortable inside of 5 feet. I mean, he just looked rigid and awful. It's just, I think, yeah, it's definitely in his head for sure. I mean, golf is 99% mental, especially at his level. So, talking about this, I said I was going to talk about Denny. The first guy I'll bring up is Benny On, though. I dropped a screenshot in the Discord already. Benny On had 8 shots inside of 15 feet, so he led the field inside of 15 feet. He had 10 inside of 20 feet. So, again, I look at that as like a consistency metric with a lot of opportunity. So, inside of 15 feet, that's fantastic. You have half your round is inside of 15 feet for birdie. You start squeezing a couple of those inside of 5 or 10 feet, you're looking really good. So, Benny On is one of my favorites for tomorrow. The Denny McCarthy round is wild. He had some incredibly good holes. And I say that because I just talked about Benny On having 8 shots inside of 15 feet. Denny had 7 shots inside of 15 feet, but he only had 8 shots inside of 30 feet. So he had 7 inside of 15 feet. He had 1 extra shot somewhere that was inside 30 feet. Everything else was outside of 30 feet. So it was like boom or bust for Denny. I do not mind chasing him. Obviously, we talked about it on the Tuesday show. I think Denny's just one of those guys that you kind of keep plugging in, and he's going to pop for a low round at some point. And honestly, -3 is not the worst thing in the world. Where he was priced at. So, yeah, I do like going back to Denny McCarthy. Scotty continues to just ball strike the shit out of it, and I have a tough time just fading it, especially in Showdown. Like, full week is a different story, but, like, in Showdown especially, at least getting some exposure, like, that's the round you miss. If you do it for the full week and, like, he finishes top 15, doesn't really do it for you. But if at top 15 he had one round where he shot 61, that's the round that you get all your money back. You've been losing on Scotty, playing him for the last 2 months. So, I do like Scotty again for tomorrow. There's no one else that really pops up. I will say McKenzie's interesting. You mentioned you weren't going to play him, but like he was actually really good inside of 20 feet. So I actually like going back to McKenzie. I kind of looked at him for the full week as a guy that's super accurate. Obviously, trying to just kind of navigate this golf course in your head, thinking about accuracy off the tee, avoiding some of the trouble, and then just, having good approaches. And obviously at Pebble Beach, that's exactly what it takes. So I think McKenzie's actually in a good spot. He had 8 shots inside of 20 feet, so just slightly worse than Benny On. I like that one quite a bit. Finau is up there. I probably will have a little bit of Finau, and that's probably it in this range. To be honest, a lot of these guys didn't really do, something excellent as far as having a ton of opportunities, and that's really all I look at. So no Hideki. He's a stud, so it could always happen, but no Hideki for me. I don't know who gained the most strokes in this range as far as like approach, but Tony shows like he gained a lot. So yeah, Tony did look good. I won't play any Sung Jae, no Rory, no Hayden Buckley, Russell Henley. I'll be fading those. So yeah, really just those 4 guys I just mentioned.
Yeah, for sure. Getting into one of my favorite plays on the whole slate here is Max Homa. I really think he's a guy that can nuke it tomorrow. He started out kind of sluggish today, 1 birdie, 1 bogey early, but I think he kind of caught on a little fire there towards the end, hit some good shots there at the end, gained almost a stroke approach on the back 9 there. He makes a couple birdies coming in, just like the stats from him today. I think that he's going to hit the irons much better tomorrow. I think he's a guy that goes out there. Maybe he's the guy that goes out there and shoots -5, -6, -7, or something like that tomorrow. I like the price tag for him too, 8,800. I think that'll kind of keep him in check. So I'm going to be playing quite a bit of Max Homa tomorrow. I didn't play Dave for the main slate. I'll continually be off of him. I didn't play Cantlay for the main slate. I'll probably continue to be off of him. Lee Hodges was a value play that I played. I think Hodges and Putnam are both solid value plays for tomorrow. I was very heavy on Putnam, and he was the back 9. And he just didn't hit the irons that good all day. The back 9 was worse. The last three holes was pretty bad with the approach there. The par 5, 16. I think I'll go right back to Putnam tomorrow. He generally plays pretty well. Has been playing consistent, good price tag. And then that's about it for me here in this -2 range. Anything for you?
Yeah, it's really just 2 guys in this range. I'm cool with going back to Max Homa. Again, from a stud perspective, he's one of the guys that when you spend up for it, you're expecting him to shoot 4 or 5 under par at worst. So I don't mind Max Homa. He didn't look terrible today. Obviously not a ceiling round for him, but I do like going back to Homa. I like Lee Hodges quite a bit. Liked him for the full week. You talked about him as a good value play, and he's still hitting the ball really, really well. He actually had some really crazy spurts. Overall was pretty consistent. Basically, about a third of his shots inside of, we'll say 15 feet. But he had four shots inside of 10 feet, 1 shot inside of 5 feet. So he actually was really, really good with the irons. I like to see some Lee Hodges make a few putts tomorrow and go a bit deeper. 4 shots inside of 10 feet, sign me up for 6 under par tomorrow. And that's what I would want. So between him and Max Homa, I think that's really it in this range. Cantley's just dull, to be honest. Cantley does not I don't even know. I don't know how he's still in the top 5 in the world, to be honest, but he just doesn't do anything flashy. He doesn't do anything on the scorecard or as far as stats flashy. It just doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, for me, I love the Max Homa call, a guy you can kind of flop lag. Just going to keep using flop lag. Just a great acronym, or just a great verbiage. So Lee Hodges, Max Homa, that's really the only 2 guys I'm looking at here in this range.
Yeah, Cantley also wears bad clothes, so that's another
terrible
against him.
Terrible
having that. We can dive into this -1 range. Just a few guys here. Nothing that really sticks out to me too much here in this -1 range. I don't think I'm going to play any of these guys. To be fact,
I had a lot of Shank today in Showdown for round 1 Showdown. Yeah, he projects out really well, so his stats actually look decent. I'm going to go back to Adam Shank for tomorrow.
Jaeger's there too. He's a high birdie upside guy. If you want to go there,
he's one of those that's almost just red across the board for me though. He only had 1 shot inside of 20 feet that wasn't on a par 5. So a little bit of a struggle there for Stefan Jaeger for birdie opportunities. But yeah, Shank's interesting. It's not a golf course you think would fit him. He's one of the longer guys on tour, which is surprising with a name like Shank. But he had 6 shots inside of 20 feet, half of those, 3 shots inside 10 feet. So I think Shank is in a good spot for another round tomorrow. And like I said, I played him for round 1. He projects out really well, makes a lot of birdies. Shank in Showdown is probably better suited than even Classic, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a good point there for sure. Getting into this even par guys, there's a couple guys here I may find myself playing tomorrow. I really like how Harris English finished his round. I thought he was kind of ridden off left for dead there. He was 3 over going into 16 and then rattles off 3 straight birdies to get back to even par going into tomorrow. Birdies 16, 17, and 18. I think he's an interesting guy. He's got some good mojo carrying over. And then our guy, Mr. Ham, he had quite the day today. I mean, he still hit some good shots out there today. Rolls in 6 birdies today, but just played a few holes. It's absolutely horrible today. Doubles 18, makes a bogey on the par 5 16th, makes 3 other bogeys as well. Ends up shooting even with 6 birdies. So I'll take him shooting. If he can make 4 birdies tomorrow, I don't think he's going to make that many mistakes. I think he's a guy that's going to definitely clean up the off the tee game tomorrow. He hit just a few horrible drives today, which led to bogey, and a double there. So I think he's a guy that can bounce back. So it's just going to be English and then Clark for me here at even par. Anything for you?
Yeah, my favorite play on the whole slate, Ricky Fowler.
There you go.
Yeah, this is perfect. This is exactly why especially for Showdown, like opportunities is such a big deal for me. Ricky Fowler's round today was elite. And if you look at the stats, if you look at strokes gained only, it's not going to look that way. Actually, I think it actually shows he lost strokes on approach or was just slightly positive. Doesn't pop, right? Well, he had 7 shots inside of 15 feet. He had 10 shots inside of 25 feet. If you look down at the numbers, he lost over 2 strokes on the par 3 14th hole. I'm looking at Ricky Fowler's round as a whole. He had 7 shots inside of 15 feet, 3 shots inside of 10 feet. Like, that's what I look at. I love that. Sign me up for Ricky Fowler. Loved him for the full week slate. Obviously has been playing great all year. And I'm hoping people overlook him, kind of like you just did. So, yeah, I like Ricky a ton. I think people do overlook him. And like I said, his round today was really, really impressive. Didn't really do as much as you would want on the greens, obviously, with that many shots inside of 15 feet. But the ceiling is there. If you're going to keep hitting it that close, inside 10 feet or around 10 feet, that's what will lead to the 62 or 63 that will ship a GPP. So, yeah, Ricky for me, and Smalley checks a lot of boxes again. So that's really, really it. I really don't mind Wyndham Clark. He's just been playing good. Go back to him. Doesn't pop off the page for me, but again, it's just a different class when you talk about a guy like Wyndham Clark right now. So yeah, for me, Ricky Fowler, probably number 1 guy on the slate for tomorrow. And then Alex Smalley, played him for the full week, looks pretty good after today. And he is really, a double flop lag. So we're going to go Alex Smalley for tomorrow as well.
Yeah. PJ's got a comment here for you. I'm sure you've probably gotten that a few times in your day.
I have. Yeah, a few times. Wish I was some days.
Hopefully he can come back here some days. He was one of my favorite golfers for a while.
Yeah, man, he was fun. You don't get many guys like him anymore. Everyone's so, formal and political, and they want to make sure they're towing the line. And Berger never really stepped out of line, but he didn't really care. He was almost like Brooks, just a skinnier version of Brooks. Like, I'm just here to play golf. I don't really care what you think about me. I got a hot girlfriend, and that's pretty much it. I play good golf, win a tournament every other year. It's just the vibe that you want. So
there was a while where he rattled off, I don't know how many top 10s in a row, but he was like solid. On top of the world there for a while. It seemed
it was like a couple years ago in the beginning of the year, I think, because he was at Pebble. He was in contention at Pebble, and then he went through the West Coast swing and then went back to Florida. He always plays good on the Florida swing. So yeah, he's just hopefully he's okay, man. This is a long time to be out and not hear anything.
For sure. And diving in, we can just kind of clump these over par guys all together here. There is a few guys that I like down here. I like Brian Harman. He showed some heart today. He battled back on the back 9 after a 39, 4 over on the front 9. Loved the heart he showed there on the back 9. He's a guy I'll be going back to down here. I think Hatton's a guy you can go to. I mean, he was just bad today. It was one of the worst rounds I've seen him play in quite a while. I think he's a tournament play if you want to go down there. A few other guys. Sammy Burns is down here at 3 over. He actually played all right on the front nine, but he definitely collapsed there. Holes 12 through 18, making 4 bogeys coming in. He's a guy I think will bounce back tomorrow, as will John Rahm. I haven't played Rahm much at all this year, just a couple times in the majors, but I played him this week. Just ran into a buzzsaw there. 16, 17, and 18 really hurt him there. I mean, he played really bad 16 through 4 there as he started on the back nine. He was 2 under through 6 holes, then kind of lost it there. Hit a couple bad iron shots. Made a bad decision on the par 5, I thought. Got a little too aggressive there off the tee. Ends up finding the water there, I think, on 16. And then I think on 17 or 18, it was on 18, I think he airmailed an iron over the green or one of those holes. And then he plays the par 5s today at 1 over. There's 0 chance John Rahm's playing the par 5s at 1 over tomorrow. I think he's the guy that can battle back and show some heart tomorrow. But what are you seeing these over par guys? Anything you love for a bounce back guy?
Yeah, I do like Brian Harman. Brian Harman's a nice spot after his round today. Let's see, there's a couple guys. Yeah, Brian Harman, I don't know. I think you talked about it when he lost 3 strokes around the green almost. Yeah. Obviously had some type of debacle there on one of those closing holes.
It was the front nine, yeah, hole 7 on the
hole
front
7.
nine.
Yeah,
he lost over 3 strokes on that hole.
Yeah, he lost almost 3 strokes tee to green on that hole. Pretty good job there, Brian Harman. Yeah, I think he's obviously a good bounce back spot. It's kind of in that same breath we talked about Ricky Fowler. He's checks a lot of boxes for me as far as opportunities. So Brian Harman, Sepp Straka. I don't think people are going to go back to Sepp Straka. I know he was talked up. His numbers aren't as good as a lot of the guys I mentioned, but he's kind of on the verge. And I talked about that last week where he had a ton of shots. Sepp Straka specifically had a lot of shots inside of 25 feet. And again, it doesn't take much to just kind of carry over decent ball striking into excellent ball striking. All of a sudden he has 9 shots inside of 25 feet. And now he has 9 shots inside of 15 feet. And he makes a couple extra putts. So I think Sepp Straka is a really good low-owned play tomorrow. I don't imagine he's going to be 5 or 6%, to be honest. So Sepp Straka, Brian Harman you mentioned. And then John Rahm is fine. We talked about that with Fleetwood, and this is probably even a better example. Rahm's going to be here for 4 days. So there's really no point in him packing it in after his round today. And I even tweeted out something earlier about Will Zalatoris. I don't know if you saw that, but Zalatoris was 9 shots back of the leader after round 1 last year, and he came back to win. So yeah, I think Rahm certainly has a low one in him. Obviously, he's one of the best players in the world, but I think Rahm is one of those guys that gets overlooked just based on his score today. People don't go down the board long enough or far enough. They look at him versus Scheffler, and they want the guy that played better today, which is understandable. But yeah, Rahm is definitely in play for me. And like I said, Brian Harman and Ricky are probably going to be 2 of my favorites. And as a lower-owned guy in this range specifically, Sepp Straka is definitely on my list. Yeah,
didn't Rory do that too? Last year, 2 years ago, I think it was last year at the
Tour Championship, right?
Yeah, he started out 4 over or something.
Yeah, I think he took a triple in the very first hole or something like that, and then he came back and won. Man, it's mainly Scheffler's fault, but yeah. Let's see here. I see a couple. Can you deep dive Rose? See what the hell happened to him? Ironically, his numbers actually look pretty good. So he lost a stroke and a half on hole 14. He lost 1 stroke on approach on hole 3. But when I look through, his round was overall above average. He had five approaches inside of 15 feet. He had 9 of them inside of 30 feet. It was really just those other 9 holes, basically. So I don't really hate Rose either. If you had Rose exposure for the full week and you want a little extra for his bounce back spot, not the worst idea. So yeah, I think Rose really just had a string of bogeys and a couple really bad approaches, and that was basically it. But overall, I don't think he played terrible. I think he had a 3-putt on hole 8. So obviously that doesn't help. So. Yeah, I think Rose is okay. If you have full week exposure, that's a way to maybe recoup a little bit if he does bounce back. He shoots 6 over today, he shoots 6 under tomorrow. It has happened before. I guarantee you. It will happen again.
Yeah, for sure. We can kind of close this out then with a little core here. We can do the 2 and 2 again. I think we're both kind of on with Tommy Fleetwood, aren't we? Up top, like 9,100.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
We were kind of both talking him up.
Yeah, just as a decent bounce back for a lower owned guy. Yeah, I don't hate that.
I think he'll be pretty low owned in that 9K range. Who else you thinking for value that we were both on? Or we kind of liked Harmon, didn't we?
Yeah, love Harmon.
Yeah, we can go with him, and then you can go for your guy,
Ricky Fowler.
There you go. I thought you were going to go with him. Love it.
Man.
I'm going to go with a guy that's just been playing super golf right now. I mean, he's swinging the club so good over the last month or so. Lucas Glover, he's just out there. He's underpriced, I think, 7,500. I think he's got another pretty steady 4 under round in him tomorrow, and that's going to pretty much pay off that price tag, I think. He's a guy I like to play. I mean, he plays really well, usually like rounds 2 and 3. Last week it was interesting with that final 3 there. I didn't know which one of them was going to give it away first between Horschel, Glover, and Henley, but Glover was the one that withstood them all.
Yeah. He has been playing good. Yeah, he continued that today for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's pretty much going to do it for you. Do it for us here. I've got the Showdown playbook up over on the site already. Core plays will be up. We'll be in Discord for any questions. Use that promo code NFL23 for 23% off the life of your subscription, as we've got some big things coming ahead. We're going to have the NFL news coming out soon. Some other big news regarding our tools and stuff are coming as well. Any final thoughts you hear, Drew, as we close this round 2 Showdown out?
Yeah. I don't know what Antonio was talking about. I talked about Postman on the Tuesday show. Dude, he's playing good. I'm on Postman train. As soon as he plays bad, though, I'm jumping off. So, but yeah, that's it. I think it sets up for a fun event, fun weekend, and like I said, no idea what's really going to shake out. So, play Showdown. At least you get cashed out that day.
Yeah,
move on to the next day. So, yeah, that's it. Snyder, good show. Thank you everybody for tuning in. And definitely hit the like button on the way out, and I'll let Snyder take it from here.
Yeah, for sure. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe on the way out. We appreciate you guys for watching. As always, for Drew, I'm Snyder. Thanks a lot, and always run pure.